Now, to the question, would you like fries with that? Donald Trump has always answered yes. Loves his junk food, loves McDonald's. Now he's asking the question himself. He spent yesterday, Sunday, in Pennsylvania, working in a McDonald's joint. So let's have a quick look at the former... OK, we're not quite ready. Well, let's go over to the Republicans Overseas UK spokesperson. I always thought the chair. He's the boss, anyway. Greg Swenson. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Kevin. Good to see you.
You too, mate. We're just getting some footage ready of old Donald Trump. Well, let's watch Donald in action at this Pennsylvania McDonald's yesterday.
You doing a good job?
Does an excellent job.
She better, right? Yeah, she's beautiful. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yup.
Boy, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it, huh? How are you? What a good-looking family.
Thank you.
How did you produce those good-looking kids? Oh, they look like the wife. They look like the wife. How are you? Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you, man.
Appreciate all.
Thank you very much.
This order right here.
Thank you.
Good to have you in Bucks County.
And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
You're on 2024.
Oh, you're doing some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
This is all on Trump.
Oh, hold on, Trump.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Let's check and make sure it's everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to be the best you ever. I made it myself.
You're the man. Make America great.
That's it, order. Thank you, man.
He's good, isn't he? Well, Greg, this was it was a very good promotional visit. Very, very good feel-good stuff. He's good at that. He's good at talking to people, at relating to people. But he said, because he loves McDonald's, he said, I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So basically, this was good footage, good pictures, and he got a real dig in at Kamala, because Kamala said she worked at McDonald's when she was a student, and Trump says, no, you didn't, you're lying. But then again, Kamala and Tim Walz, they just lie about everything.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they've been kind of caught quite a bit, especially Tim Walz. But, this is a classic Trump move. It was really well executed. He also went to a football game. He went to the Pittsburgh Steelers game and got an enormous ovation and support and cheering. He's definitely connecting with the people, with the voters. There's no doubt about that.
Well, in the Spectator magazine over here, Freddie Gray, the deputy editor there, who's an expert on America, you'll know him. He's written a piece saying that that Donald Trump, the sort of rhythm and the cadence, if you like, of his campaign turns out to have been just right. I mean, barring any disasters between now and November the 5th, that he's kind of hit the feel-good factor, the joy factor, just at the right time, whereas Kamala and Tim Walz seem to be locked in, trying to defend her disastrous television appearances.
Yeah, I think, and Kamala and Tim peaked early. There's no doubt about that, because the late July re-imaging of Kamala was perfectly executed by the Democrats, and of course the press was fully compliant, fully activist there. So it was really well done. But as soon as she started talking to the media, as soon as she started, maybe leaving the teleprompter, it started to come apart. And the last 2 or 3 weeks has been really bad. The Bret Baier interview on Fox, of course, the View, the ABC View episode, she fell down there, even though it's very friendly, very supportive. And then the 60 Minutes
disaster.
Guy actually acted like a journalist, which was refreshing for CBS. And so, she's had a really bad few weeks. You're absolutely right. Freddie's right. He's peaking at the right time. He's on a groove. J.D. Vance has been doing a great job on the stump. So, the question is, can they finish strong, right into Election Day? A lot of voting has started already. My worry is, it's still really close, Kevin. It's still close. And Trump has picked up, or Kamala has given up 10 points with African Americans, with blacks, and 20 points with Hispanics. And that means she can't win. If all other things considered equal. But that's what I'm worried about. If Trump has picked up 10 points and 20 points respectively with those identity groups, he must have lost a lot of the white college educated voters. We'll see, but it's still really close in the swing states. But the momentum is surely with him.
That is the point, isn't it? As we always discuss, most of America, with the greatest respect in terms of elections, isn't worth talking about. But there are 7 states that can go either way. So all American elections revolve around these 7 states, because the rest of the states, it's written in stone. They're either Democrat or Republican. These 7 states, they can change. Now, Pennsylvania, where Donald Trump was in McDonald's, that is the key swing state, the swing state to beat all swing states. It looks to me as if he's looking good there. That's only a little snapshot of him in a fast food joint. But he is looking good in Pennsylvania, isn't he? And the word is, if you win Pennsylvania, you win the election.
Yeah, there's ways for each candidate to win without Pennsylvania, but it's very difficult. It's a really difficult path without Pennsylvania, partly because it's got 19 electoral votes as opposed to Wisconsin and Michigan, which have 10 each. So, it's really important to win there. This is where the assassination attempt was, and then his return to Butler, Pennsylvania, a few weeks ago, really well executed. Then you had the Pittsburgh Steeler game yesterday, the McDonald's. He did a rally in Pennsylvania last week. He's really doing well there. And it would be a miracle at this point, for him to fall down. But again, it's still within a couple of points. And the Democrats are really good at ballot harvesting. A generation ago, that would have been considered cheating, but it's perfectly legal now. I want to be clear about that. But they're really good at it. They're you've got the Labour Party, the government of the UK, sending 100 volunteers over to campaign for Kamala to knock on doors. All you have to do is go, control the voting apparatus in Philadelphia, Detroit, Atlanta, Milwaukee. You can find votes. You just go door to door at the big government housing, public housing projects, and you can find votes. And that's what I'm worried about.
Well, on the plus side, if you're in favour of Donald Trump, Labour sending 100 staff to the swing states to help Kamala, that means Trump's got it in the bag. He can't lose. Yeah,
it's like getting the endorsement from Dick Cheney and his daughter Liz Cheney. That might have sealed it for Trump. Indeed. There's something in Trump's demeanour right now. If you and I have spoken often about this, 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, there didn't seem to be any confidence emanating from the Trump camp. But I think now he is exuding confidence. So is J.D. Vance. I think that they think they're going to do it. Yeah, and it's it's got to be too big to rig. I think that it very well could be, because if the momentum continues, he's clearly up right now, a couple of points. I saw great polling from JL Partners. It's really fantastic. And if he's up another 2 points 2 weeks from now, then he's got it wrapped. Yes, anything can happen, but he's really got the momentum right now. I think when they ditched Biden on July 21st, it shook him up. I think he felt comfortable. He was leading by 5 points. He was clearly going to win in July, and it definitely shook him up a little bit. So he's back. He's got the groove back. He's on a real good tear right now. Yeah, and last point. I know you got to go, Greg, but the reason that the Kamala train is crashing, that the Kamala boat is sinking, I would say is this: Americans are not stupid. And the Democrats put out this candidate. Do you remember for the first 3 weeks or so, she was just going, love, joy, happiness, But Americans want content. They want policies. This woman, if she's got any policies, she doesn't seem to be capable of articulating them. Ask her a question and she falls apart. It's all platitudes. And she's tried to do something really difficult. Segregate herself from Joe Biden, because she doesn't want to be associated with his failures, his failing policies, his failing outcomes. But at the same time, she wants to act like she was the last one in the room and she was involved and she's been in leadership. It's really tough to pull that off. And I think people are now associating with her because Bill Clinton and Joe Biden have both thrown her under the bus, basically, by saying that, she was involved with the Biden decisions. And that's really going to hurt her. She's tied to the border. She's tied to the deaths of those poor kids that have been killed by illegal migrants, and she's tied to inflation. So she's trying to say, turn the page, and I'm the next generation, and I'm new. It's just not working.
Yeah, and that Brett Baer moment on Fox last week, when he quite rightly just said, well, you're saying that America's got to change, America's on the wrong path. Well, you've been in charge for 3.5 years. Who's responsible? And in the end, she goes, Donald Trump.
Yeah, still blaming Trump for everything. It's interesting, Kevin, a little trivia. In the 30-minute interview that she gave Brett Baer, she mentioned Trump 23 times in 27 minutes. Trump did a much longer interview the same day with the Wall Street Journal, mentioned Kamala once. She's got nothing. They used to just have identity politics. Now they don't even have that because the blacks and Hispanics are moving away from her. So now all they have is Trump derangement syndrome, and that's all she has. She has nothing else, no policy, no record. I think she's in a bit of a pinch.
I've got friends over here who've got Trump derangement syndrome, and their problem, just like Kamala, is they cannot understand people who don't have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Surely you hate this man's guts. Surely you want him to die. Surely you can't support him. They cannot understand it. That's her problem.
Yeah, the haters will hate. It's really sad to see that people like the Cheneys and other Republicans that have, that are never Trumpers, so to speak, they will vote against their conscience on so many issues, whether it's abortion, the open borders, the economy, taxes, you name it. They're going to vote against their conscience because they don't like Trump. It's just despicable. And people, no one's perfect. He's an imperfect vehicle. Yeah. If you don't like some of the things he does, fine, just vote for him because you agree with 90% of what he believes in.
And that's what I think a lot of Americans will do. It's going to be a fascinating 2 weeks. We're going to be speaking to you a lot, Greg. All the best, mate. That's Greg Swenson, Republican Overseas UK Chairperson. Chairman. He is a man. Let's call him a chairman. You're not allowed to say that anymore. I don't know why.